How do you how do you generate luck? What is luck? How do you get lucky? Like, because you can put all the work you want into something, but most of the time that doesn't even matter. Like most of your life is controlled by things that are completely out of your control. So how do you how do you affect things that you don't even know you need affected? How do you get yourself into a position where you can be lucky or be blessed? How can you be blessed by forces outside of your control? It's kind of weird to think about, right? Like the Eastern thought is kind of karmic, right? Like if you do good things will come to you. But we know that's not always true. Sometimes you do good things and the worst shit happens ever. Sometimes you do bad shit, you get away for a long time. I mean, stuff does catch up to you, obviously, but that doesn't guarantee anything. And that's really not something that you can predict. That's not something you can like put time into and actually do. And then like the Western thought is kind of like just work. Like work, 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 put yourself in a good position that will make luck. Like if you just work endlessly, tirelessly, you'll get lucky. And that may be true in some regard. Like if you put a bunch of time into something, maybe you'll get better at it, but that doesn't mean that you're just going to get lucky. That doesn't mean that you're just going to get into a lucky star. But then it's like some people even think carrying like totems or like little uh, like tinctures, stuff like that, like little items will bless them and bring them luck. And then some people feel like they're lucky because of their like religion, like their thoughts, their beliefs can influence the physical world and make them lucky. It's kind of interesting to think about, how do you get lucky? Can you even really affect that? Is that something that even can be altered in any way? I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible. Um, Sometimes it seems like the future is affecting the past. So what you're going to become is already changing who you are now. And that's tied into who you are right now, right? So obviously it's like make good decisions. That's going to, you know, make you lucky. But I think maybe it's even deeper than that, right? You have to really look at yourself kind of objectively, because your luck will change based on who you are. If you want to do this one particular thing, if you want to be a race car driver, you'll need a different type of luck than if you were working on a computer. So just working tirelessly or just doing good deeds may not put you in a lucky situation to get you closer to those things. So how would you actually get lucky, besides just making good decisions? I almost think it's like looking at yourself truly objectively, like an item or something, and like definitely comparing yourself to others. That's a big one, because if others can do it, so can you. But even beyond that, looking at yourself and really questioning, like, why are you doing this? What are you doing? What are the mechanics of how it's working? And to break everything down into compartmentalized subjects that you can take apart. Because at the end of the day, again, like if you're in one state of mind, if you're trying to get lucky, you could get very lucky and that could just totally influence you in another way. Not that you have like direct control of what's going to be quote unquote lucky, but if you have objective looking at yourself, not just stuck in the grind, not just stuck on go, but really always taking that objective look at yourself. I think that is very important to getting lucky. Coins might work. Yeah, you could maybe do that. You could maybe flip coins or something like that. You could do dust. You could throw dust in the air and let it like settle on you on your face. All of those things are very possible, but who really knows? You got to put your mind to it. You got to think outside the box. Life is not just do what everybody else is doing, even though that's what they tell you. Like you really want to think outside the box, because when you do think outside the box, people are upset. They're like, "Why are you upsetting the status quo? What are you doing?" But you need to do that. You need to step out of the box and think in a new way, try to do it every day. Don't sit around and continuously double down on thoughts you've had before and triple down, because they're going nowhere. Like, if they're actually productive, lucky thoughts, they'll lead you somewhere. If they're not, then they're just going to like regurgitate on the same stuff. And that's obviously different than if you're focused on something. If you're focused, that's sacred. You know, it's super hard to be focused on something. So if you can achieve focus, that's paramount. That's major, 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 major. But yeah, focus, and just clearing your mind as well. Not getting totally overloaded with stupid stuff that does not matter. Because so much doesn't matter. The stuff that bugged you years ago doesn't matter now. It's not going to matter in the future. So at some point, you definitely have to learn to let go of stuff. Just let go. It's not that big a deal. It's really not. No one's going to care about it. You're not going to care about it. You're going to see it in a different way anyways. So you got to be very careful just doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on something. Because you're going to see it in multiple different ways, multiple different aspects. And that's what I'm trying to talk about, getting lucky. Like, you got to look at yourself in multiple different aspects. If you're looking at yourself in just one way, you only see yourself as this, then you're only going to usually only get lucky in that way. Sometimes you get super lucky and it shows you something, but that only happens a few times in life. You know, if you want to try and like get lucky more than just a few times, you got to look at yourself outside the box as something that maybe you didn't consider, right? See yourself in a new way to do something. Give yourself the permission to do it. That's what most people can't do. Most people just can't give themselves the permission because they need to do this, or they need to achieve something. They haven't put in enough time, or whatever bullshit. None of that matters. All that matters is you give yourself the permission to do it. If you tell yourself, this is going to work, I'm going to do it, then it's going to work. It's just really that simple, because you have already thought of something that's possible. You wouldn't even really be fucking with something that's impossible. And if you were, then you're probably on the right track anyways, because you're trying to do totally crazy shit that's impossible. So that's already in the right direction. You gotta consider stuff. You gotta think A, B, C, D, E. The days of thinking A, B are over. That's over. There's no A, B. You got a D, E, F, G. I had to bust out the alphabet just to simplify this shit. Just to simplify, because people want to try and overcomplicate shit. I don't want to do that. This is not math time. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Luck can possibly be generated. It can possibly be generated, yes, partly with your mind, yes, partly outside yourself. But also, like, the situations you put yourself in. The situations you put yourself in. Don't put yourself in some dumb situation, because then it's downhill from there.
That's your motto, though. You keep having a motto, is that's where we're at now.
Yeah, that's where we're at now, and that's crazy. Yeah. Those are both my mottos. Those have always been my mottos. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. I think it's possible. I think it's something to... I think put it in your...
That's your catchphrase.
Put it in your smoothie and drink it. You know, chew on that. But that's where we're at now.